What's up, Buncombe? It's Abby, and today we have a very special guest with us today, Lieutenant Governor and future Governor of North Carolina, Mark Robinson. How are you doing today?
Doing good. It's great to be here.
Raise a flag of liberty, the land of the free, rejecting tyranny.
Awesome. Well, we're so thrilled to have you on our show. First of all, on behalf of everyone at Fix Buncombe, we just want to thank you for all that you've done for us as Lieutenant Governor and all that you're going to do for us as Governor.
Thank you.
So first, I want to ask you, how did you get involved with politics?
I guess in politics personally, it started for me, I guess, in earnest back in 2018. I went down to our local city council in Greensboro to give to speak at a meeting that they were having, and ended up giving a speech that kind of went viral. The speech was about protecting our rights, our gun rights, and constitutional rights, and it went viral. And when it did, a lot of people came knocking on my door, wanting me to get involved with the local GOP, and the NRA came knocking on the door, wanting me to get involved, and so we did. And that kind of introduced me into politics on a broad scale here in the state and really across the nation.
You know, Tropical Storm Helene, it's been a huge tragedy in Western North Carolina and throughout several states. What if you had been governor during this, what would you have done differently? And then, the rebuilding process, it's going to take years around here. Yes. And so what are you going to do as governor to help us rebuild?
Okay, so let's talk about what I believe should have been done first. Had I been governor of the state, before the storm hit, I would have called together the council of state, and wouldn't have called them together for the purposes of some ceremonial vote on whether or not there's going to be a disaster. I would have called them together so we could formulate a plan together to work as a team together for a proper response. Of course, I know the leadership. I would be at the helm of the leadership and making sure that things got done. But I also believe we could have energized the talent of the folks there on the council of state to do stuff as well. I think each person on that council of state should have had a task to fulfill to make sure that the response was carried out correctly. That's number one. Number two, I certainly, if I had anything on my calendar, it would have been canceled. I would not have left the state for anything. I would have been right here in the state for the entire event. Number three, I would have immediately released far more than 179 National Guardsmen, probably closer to 2,000 is what I would have released and energized and had ready to roll out. And I would have been on the ground the moment the storm was over. I would have not only been on the ground, but been there on the ground working to ensure that the rescue and recovery efforts were going well, that the delivery of essential goods was going well, and to organize the folks, make sure the folks on the ground were well organized and had everything they need in order to be able to carry out rescue and relief missions. Also would have made sure that civilians were not left out, which they weren't left out. Civilians did a lot of work. In fact, they were leading the charge in the beginning to a large extent, and we thank them for that. But I would have made sure that civilian relief organizations such as Samaritan Purse, that all of them were working together, had what they needed, and made sure that our response was proper and on time. Time is of the essence when you're talking about these issues, and so it should have been an immediate response, not a Monday response, not a 2-day response. Should have been an immediate response, ready to roll out the moment the winds died down and the water stopped. And so that's what I would have done had I been the governor. As far as the rebuilding process goes, as governor, I'm going to ensure that private industry leads the charge there. We do not need to be working on government time here. Highway 40, the 40 corridor being out, that is a huge blow to commerce and could have grave effects for our economy for years if we don't get that immediately rectified. And I believe the way that we do it is by making sure that private industry has the green light, that we cut the red tape, that we cut the inefficiencies and allow private industry to come in and bring the solutions necessary to get our roads open, our bridges back up, and to start rebuilding communities as quickly as possible. The one thing that we want to do, and we've seen this happen after other hurricanes in other places here in the state, sadly, because of poor leadership from the governor's office. Folks who are languishing only halfway back. They're living substandard to the way they lived before the storm because they haven't been the response hasn't been there to get them back to full measure. We need to make sure that we get people fully recovered, not half recovered, not a quarter recovered. We need to make sure we get them back to full normal as quickly as possible. And I believe the way we do that is by making sure that private industry is leading the charge and we give them what they need to allow that to happen. And so, I really do believe that's what's going to have to happen in Western North Carolina to see some semblance of normalcy come back, and of course for us to get us all the way back to full normalcy in short order or shorter order, because it's going to be a long process.
Yeah. So, going along with that, what are your major plans for governorship?
So, as the governor, the thing that we're focusing on, I tell everybody, we're focusing on our economy. And the reason we focus on the economy is because if you're working on the economy, you have to work on the 5 pillars that support our economy. And the 5 pillars are public safety, public education, healthcare, infrastructure, and housing. The governor plays a unique role in each one of those things because the governor appoints the people that are over the agencies that sway over those things. The governor appoints the person to the Department of Public Safety. The governor appoints the people to the state school board. That's tone for education in the state. The governor appoints the person to the Department of Health and Human Services. And the governor appoints the people to DOT and DEQ. Those agencies hold sway over our infrastructure and to a large extent our housing. And so the governor plays a unique role in making sure the business community of this state is healthy by having agencies that are healthy. When I say healthy, I mean agencies that are working for the people, not against them. Agencies that are modernized and working on business time and not government time. And quite frankly, agencies that are not weaponized against the people. We don't want to see that happen. We see that happening far too often, for a myriad of reasons, whether it be social or political. We cannot allow that to happen because when it does, it drives business away. We have to have state agencies that are putting up guardrails and not barriers. I think if we do that in this state, we'll see our state get healthier, grow more. More business will want to come here, and more business will be likely to stay here in the near future. And so we're working hard towards that end, and we hope to be able to do that as governor.
So we heard over the next couple of years that the state income tax is supposed to go away. Is this true?
Well, there is a graduated scale we're supposed to be lowering taxes on as revenue grows. We have markers that we're trying to hit so we can continue to lower taxes. But one of the things that I'm concerned about, and this discussion will be had with the legislature, and I'll have this discussion with the legislature. North Carolina has an immense amount of growing to do. And in order to grow, we have got to make some substantive targeted investments in our state. I would love to see the taxes lowered as far as possible. I believe personal taxes right now, that individual taxes are at 4.99. Corporate taxes are at 2.49. People are clamoring to get in the state because of our great tax rate right now. We want those folks to continue to come. We want businesses to continue to come, but we also want to be able to invest in our infrastructure and in our healthcare and other associated things to make the state more attractive so the growth continues. And as the growth continues, it will raise the revenue. And as that revenue raises organically, we can lower taxes organically. And that's the plan that I'd like to see us follow. But that's going to be a conversation that we're going to have with leadership in the legislature to see which way we go.
So a lot of our listeners have asked me, if I get the chance to talk to you, they want me to ask you about constitutional carry. So the House Bill 189, the Freedom to Carry Act, it was put in on the calendar last year, but it was removed. So a lot of people are wondering if that comes back, would you be in support of that?
Absolutely. I would like that to be one of the first bills that I signed into law.
Fantastic. I know our listeners will be really happy to hear that, as well as myself. So, lastly, before we go, it's really sad that we're in a time where progressives are attacking left and right everybody. I know you have been attacked relentlessly, and I want to give you the opportunity to address the people in Buncombe County and Western North Carolina, and what do you these horrible accusations that we know are false. I want to hear what your thoughts are. what's your plan? What do you have to say?
Well, the bottom line is this. The reason why these folks are attacking us so viciously is because they want to try to highlight things that are, number one, not true, or number two, things that are scurrilous that'll draw people's attention away from the real issue. And we have to continue to tell folks, focus on the issues. Don't focus on tabloid lies and trash. Don't focus on political ads that are not true or half true. Focus on the issues. And what are the issues? The issues are what we've been talking about right here. Public safety, healthcare, infrastructure, housing, all those things. Focus on them. Look at the policies that actually work. When you go to the polls, you should be voting for people that are going to champion policies that work. And which policies work? It's our policies that work. It is our policies in this state that got us out of debt to the federal government and have us with a $5 billion surplus. It was the policies of the left that Josh Stein had us deeply in debt to the federal government and had this state dead broke. So focus on which policies work, find the people who are championing those policies, and get out and go vote for them.
Absolutely. So, the last question I want to ask you is, how do you plan to help us fix Buncombe?
We got to be more active on the ground. Being active on the ground, getting the message out to people at the local level that when we go vote in these local elections, we should vote in the local elections the same way we do at the state and the federal. We are voting for great policies that actually work. Look at what's going on. If what is going on in your county, in your city is not working, and the folks that are in office right now are not delivering the goods on the things they need to deliver, got to change course, and we got to vote for people that are going to champion policies that actually work.
Absolutely. So, is there anything that you'd like to say to the people out here?
Just tell them, hold on, we're coming, and we're going to be working as hard as we can to make sure that they get back to full normal as quickly as possible.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lieutenant Governor. We appreciate your time today. We know you're very busy, and we look forward to voting for you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate y'all. Thank you.